Hey everyone, this is June from MAD, your friendly neighborhood mortgage brokers. I'm here today to discuss what is a guarantor loan. A guarantor loan is essentially help from a family member when you don't have the cash that you need to have to get into your first home. A guarantor loan is a policy from the banks, not a government incentive. So it doesn't just apply to first home buyers, it also applies for people who are just in the market wanting to buy, regardless of whether they currently own or they've bought before. How does a guarantor loan work? Essentially, if you don't have a 20% deposit or a 5% deposit as a first-home buyer, the bank's going to charge you a lot of lender's mortgage insurance and high interest rates to get you a loan. But if you've got a family member, you've got kids, siblings, parents, grandparents, sometimes even aunties and uncles, they can put their property up as security to secure just a small portion of the total loan. How much does a guarantor's property secure? 80% of your property is secured as a loan against your home. So you buy for $1 million, 800 grand is immediately secured against your home. Then everything above $800,000, in this case 200,000, maybe even the fees as well, is then secured against the guarantor's property. So it's only a limited portion of the mortgage that's secured against the guarantor's property. It's not the full amount. But if you do have willing guarantors and they're happy and they understand how it all works, essentially you could be putting in $0 deposit, securing the 20% plus the fees onto the guarantor's property as a mortgage, and you could be buying a home for any amount as long as you can borrow it without any cash. That sounds pretty good. Now, when you go and get a guarantor loan, both that guarantor loan and also that 80% loan are still fully in your name as the applicant to repay. So your guarantors don't see anything in their internet banking. You will generally pay the fees for them. And so for the guarantor, they literally just sign off on a form. And then later on, once your property value has gone up and your loans have come down, and the combined values of your two loans can now stand by themselves, that's when we can actually sign another form and take that mortgage away from the guarantor's property. The record discharge for a guarantor here at MAD has been 3 months. Generally, it will take 3 to 4 years, but as soon as 3 months, we've had someone get into the market with a very small deposit, and literally 3 months later, with the property going up in value and them doing some works to the property, be able to discharge the guarantors. Now, what is the risk of a guarantor? Well, just like what it sounds like, your guarantor is guaranteeing that if you can't pay that 20% deposit, sometimes plus even the fees, that they will. What does that mean? Let's say that I've gotten the loan from my guarantor and I go in the middle of it. You know what? This is all too hard. I'm going off to Bali. I'm never coming back. I'm going to forget about this home loan. You'll end up defaulting on your mortgage. The banks will then sell your home, and then they'll come after the guarantors for just that limited guarantee, which is up to 20% plus the fees. So it's not the full amount, it's only that limited portion that they come after guarantors for, and they don't immediately just sell the guarantor's property. They'll come and say, hey, how can we recuperate this? Can this be a loan? Do you have cash? Do you have other assets that we can try and make this buy? So it is a risk for guarantors, but if you've got that trust and you've got that relationship with your guarantor, then it can be a really, really good way to get into the market. There are so many myths about a guarantor loan that people misunderstand. I've heard so many arguments between households at the barbecue. What is a guarantor? What if I want to sell my property? What if I already have a loan? What if me as a guarantor, I'm not working? All of these myths and more, we're going to debunk for you. Just click on this link. And I promise you that we're going to debunk all of those myths. Which banks do guarantor loans? Well, not all of the banks do guarantor loans. Only a select few have it within their risk appetite to allow for guarantor lending. All of the banks are always changing their policies as well. Some banks have really, really good rates for guarantors. Some banks want your guarantors to go get financial and legal advice. To find out which bank is the best for you, please come see a mortgage broker. We're here, your local friendly neighborhood mortgage brokers. So come see us, we'll let you know how to use a guarantor loan and which banks are best for you. Now, the first time that a lot of first home buyers especially hear about guarantor lending and getting families involved, they might go, you know what, I just want to do this myself. I don't want to get mum and dad involved. I just want to be able to do it ourselves. Completely fine, and I 100% understand. But if you do have willing guarantors, it's actually better than all of the first home buyer schemes out there. There's no limitation on purchase price. You can put $0 deposit down. You can buy something as an investment property. It's so much more flexible, and you're not tied in with the government. You're tied in with your own family. So in my eyes, it's a much better product, a much better policy than any of the first home buyer benefits or schemes. And in my eyes, because we do this every single day, about 80% of first home buyers that come through the door, especially wanting to buy by themselves or use guarantors to buy. So please come check out MAD to find out more about guarantors. Guys, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Please, please, please do give us a subscribe. Please leave us a comment down below, leave a like. Everything helps with our engagement. We want to be able to reach out as many first home buyers and home buyers in the market as possible to help you guys get into your dream home and to achieve your version of financial freedom. We'll see you soon.